Welcome to 13 Curves Podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, Jared.
And I'm your other host, Kara. Today, for episode 1, we thought it was fitting to talk about the Phoenix Lights, as today is the 25th anniversary, and also we live in Phoenix.
Yeah, so it just seemed like it was the right thing to talk about right now, go along with what we will be talking about in our future podcasts as well. Just, the theme, overall feel.
So since this is our very first podcast, as I noted earlier, I wanted to kind of get into what we wanted to make this podcast to be, which is kind of your love of history and my love of scary things combined.
Yeah, so we decided to combine the two and find topics that are kind of relevant to both subjects. And there's actually a surprising amount of information, not information, but like a surprising amount of topics to discuss and a lot of dialogue to be said.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this.
Me too. And you're probably wondering, why is this dude wearing a mask? I might go into it at another time, but right now just, be weirded out or like it, whatever you want.
Yeah, he's just a weird guy. And also my husband, so
That's right.
I live with it.
But growing up, like, do you remember hearing anything at all about this? I mean, we might have been too young for it because this took place in 1997. It was 25 years ago.
Yep, it was March 13th, 1997, and we were both small children living on the east coast of this country, so...
Yeah, we weren't even, like, in this area of the country. Like, even with how big the story ended up getting, we didn't really hear or know anything about it until I started, like, diving more into history and stuff like that.
I watch a lot of scary videos and stuff here on YouTube, and yeah, I've heard a lot about it, and doing my research, I found other things that I didn't know about it. So, pretty interested to just dive right in.
Yeah, and like we were saying, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. March 13th, 1997, in northwestern Arizona. Well, really, it depends on what, like, as we've found when we were looking into it, it depends on who you ask or what source of information you get it from. Some say it started in Nevada. Others say that it started in northwest Arizona. And some people say it was just in Phoenix. And that some people say it made its way all the way down to Tucson and even Mexico, but overall the Sonoran Desert. We're going to focus on basically like northwestern Arizona and Phoenix.
And I guess that's where it got its name, the Phoenix Lights.
Yeah, because that's where the greatest number of witnesses, if you will, were. But the initial sighting did start, from what we found, was in northwestern Arizona. And there were about 700 witnesses who saw the first sighting of it. And how it was described by these people were 5 lights in the sky almost in a V. So it was like 2, 2, and then 1 light. So in a V, whatever the craft was in the sky wasn't making any sound. And a lot of people were just kind of freaked out by it.
I also saw something that said, well, the news had interviewed a teenage boy and his family who all saw it. And he said that it was so low that he could have taken a tennis ball, thrown it into the air, and hit the thing. So that tells you anything.
What's crazy, though, is a lot of people are going to remember what happened on that night differently.
And
some people probably looked at the sky and didn't even really think anything of it at first. And mentioned or saw something about it in the news. Other people probably saw the whole thing from beginning to end and still to this day can't explain what they saw.
And I think this is kind of touching on another topic that maybe we'll do an episode on, of the human memory and how everyone remembers things differently, which reminds me of Mandela effects, but that's another topic altogether.
Yeah. When the lights first showed up in Phoenix, though, it went from 5 lights in the sky to 9 lights, and I forget the duration for how long they were lit up. Kara, do you remember by chance?
Yeah, so it says 3 hours total, but I don't know how accurate that is. Also, I want to say that some people said there were 7 lights the second time, but yeah, like, back to the memory thing, people remember it differently.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest thing that I always find really fascinating about it too is that it was up in the sky and a lot of people say that it was at least a mile long or wide, however you were looking at it, and and how it made absolutely no sound. Which, I mean, it could be a stealth. It could have been some sort of like stealth plane from the military, but who really knows?
Exactly. Even to this day, we still have no idea what it is.
And it's possible that it could have been some sort of stealth plane, though, because reports from air traffic control said that there was nothing showing up on their radars, no flights or anything like that that were detected, but they all witnessed it firsthand with their own eyes. So, I mean, there was obviously something in the sky.
Yeah, that's right. And there was someone in Scottsdale who actually said that they were looking out of a telescope and they saw planes. They saw that they were clear as day planes, but like you said, there was nothing detected in the sky that night. So,
Yeah, and then eventually, after everything was said and done and it all disappeared, the government officials out here in Arizona didn't even bother looking into it at first. First, it was a point of ridicule when somebody tried to open up some sort of inquiry into it. The government, like the city government, and even up to the governor themselves, dismissed the notion, at least publicly at first.
Fife Symington actually was the governor at the time, and he was making fun of the woman who brought this to attention.
Yeah, and like how in his press conference he brought out one of his staff members dressed as an alien. Like,
Yeah.
what a dick.
Yeah. And then later on, he admitted that he saw it and that it was definitely a UFO. So,
Yep. So I mean, I like why would you try to save face in the moment? Like I don't know. That's weird.
yeah.
But and then after a while, the military even gave a statement saying that they were setting off flares in the sky. And then when they tried to do a demonstration, though, it was not flares. Like if you find the video of the demonstration, they just like the flares come out of the aircraft and they're just like, poof, that's it.
I'll try to add it on here, but no promises.
Yeah. And and then like when you compare that side by side with what was actually in the sky, it's like, come on, man. Like they're two completely different things. And then like because nobody really knows what it is, there's, speculation as to what it possibly could be. Like what do you think it might have been?
I'm definitely not ruling out other life forms because the possibilities of that are astronomical. Like, I think that there would definitely be other life forms out there. In what way? I don't know. But I don't have a solid theory on this one. How about you?
I only have two guesses, and I'm sure neither of them are correct. But if I had to guess, it's like the logical, or what is to me logical answer is it was some sort of like military exercise. They were using some sort of aircraft that they're working on, because you got to think of all the numerous military bases that there are in Arizona and just in the Southwest in general. My guess is somebody veered off course a little bit and was just like, shit, like, I don't know, like they don't know what to do now. And like just kind of just like an awkward situation.
Honestly, I didn't realize how many military bases there were out here until you pointed them out and told me about them. And
they're everywhere out here.
I had no idea. And also you have to think about how much money goes toward the United States military. Like, they're definitely doing things that we have no idea about.
Oh yeah, why do you think Area 51 has been such a secret the whole time? I don't think it was aliens. Like, you got to think of the stuff that they probably are working on there. Like, people probably can't even fathom it or like comprehend it even.
Area 51 is not that far from here either, so who
we'll
knows?
save that probably for another time.
But who knows if they were working on something there and it got out? Like, who has any idea?
Yeah, and then there's another part of me that's like kind of like I don't want to say conspiracy theories. That term is so beaten to death now. I don't know. Everything's a conspiracy theory now if it's even like remotely like speculative. But I'm sorry, that's a totally different thing. My other theory though is it could have been extraterrestrial life coming in, and them just kind of like sending out a test, like almost like a feeler to see how humans were going to react to it. And because our elected officials didn't really respond to it. They were just like, well, okay, I guess these people aren't really ready for like human contact or for extraterrestrial contact right now. We'll just fuck off now. So see you later.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being another possibility. And so in 2017, 20 years after this happened, the government actually admitted that they were investigating UFOs. So I
Yeah, they
don't.
were they were setting aside what like it wasn't like in a grand scheme a huge amount. It was like I think it was like 20-25 million dollars a year to win, which I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money, but compared to the rest of their budget, it's like you guys aren't really trying to look. I don't know. I think they know that there are aliens out there. Like, I mean, look at all this stuff that's been like randomly declassified over the last like 2 years.
What?
You don't know anything about any of that?
Maybe.
We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, basically UFOs exist. Obviously.
Did we forget anything?
Not that I can think of. Katie, you have any comment? There's got to be so much more to the story, though, because if you think about it, we were just small children at that point, and we didn't live in this area. So, like, we didn't have, like, an adult mind to comprehend what was going on. And we probably, even if we did live in this area, we probably couldn't remember it as vividly as, like, somebody who was, 40 years old at the time.
I mean, and besides, I can barely remember anything.
Yeah. But I don't know. To me, the possibilities of like what it actually was could potentially be endless because, like I said, to this day, there's still not a clear cut what was it.
And obviously, there's a lot more out there that we didn't touch on, but as our first podcast, this is how we're doing.
Yeah, we were just covering the basics of like what was going on. I mean, there's so much more information out there about the whole topic that I'm sure didn't even scratch the surface on or like touched briefly on. We just thought it was good to like cover the basics, like here's what happened.
On that note, thanks so much for joining us for our very first podcast. We hope you'll be back for the next one in a week.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I mean, I know it wasn't as long as, some of the typical, like, podcasts that go anywhere from like an hour to 3 hours long. But, we just, like sometimes we like to keep stuff short and simple.
We just wanted to get started, and this was an interesting topic to cover. So.
Yeah, exactly. It was fitting.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you guys checking it out, giving us a watch.
Or a listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.
Yeah, see you later.